Hello, VV Nation. Steve Chappell from VectorVest here. Listen, I have got an opportunity for you this week. We're going to give you a sneak peek into the 2024 two-day investment seminar coming to you live in person or online January 5th and 6th, 2024. And you want to stick around to the end because there is some no-brainer opportunity involved in this presentation. All right, so with that said, let's move in. Why? Why consider going to this event? Because it's going to help you avoid the big mistake, or really big mistakes, and that is getting primarily just inundated with opportunity and data. We can watch CNBC. We can subscribe to investment newsletters. There's all of this information and data coming at us like never before. Social media even these days, right? So what we need to do is we need to avoid complication and shoot for simplicity. And so the fix is to have a simple plan, a simple way to make money in the stock market. And that really can be as easy as 1, 2, 3 when you have something like VectorVest. Well, VectorVest is, in my opinion, the only way it can be as simple as 1, 2, 3. When we say as easy as 1, 2, 3, there's sort of 3 pillars to success. And the first and most important is knowing when it's the right time to be buying stocks at all. In other words, what you don't want to do if you're new to the game or if you've been around for a long while is not have an understanding of this, get into a tranche of stocks only to see them down weeks and even possibly months later, and you're trying to dig out of the hole. What we want to do is stay on the right side of the market most of the time. That's where the money is. And we don't want to see our hard-earned profits dissipate away. And if we're not careful, that can snowball and really wreak havoc on our portfolios. So we want to, when VectorVest issues a confirmed down, if we haven't started to protect profits already, we certainly want to do it then. Let the downtrend run its course, and when the market bounces with enough force, let's say, to generate a confirmed green light in the price column of the color guard, we want to consider buying stocks again on these green triangles. And the earlier the better. The first set of green lights or confirmed green lights are going to generally yield the best opportunity. Certainly compared, there's always going to be a last one, right? And so, boy, I tell you, if you just get that much right, you're going to be setting yourself up for a lifetime of opportunity to come. Now, timing is absolutely everything. So it's all going to start there. We have a whole suite of timing models, and we'll certainly be detailing all of them at the show. But the GLB RT kicker is going to be a highlight in many ways, and you will certainly get a heavy dose of it. Number 2 is to find the best stocks for you. See, this is where it becomes more personal. Market direction, that needs to be right for everyone. When you get to the stock level and picking the stocks for your portfolio, this is where you got to be a little bit more careful about what you're doing in terms of, is that the right instrument or not? And Dr. DeLito said it best. Good portfolio management starts with buying the right stocks and the right stocks for you. But that whole chapter is really, really good information. And what he does is he likens constructing a portfolio to building a baseball team. You see, every portfolio is going to need some guys that hit for average, and probably a good number of those guys, you know it? People that tend to keep runners on the bases moving. But you're also going to need a guy that can steal a base or two, and you're going to need somebody a slugger or two that can knock them all in, you know? And so it's important to realize that you don't necessarily need to categorize yourself completely into one of these categories. But it's also important then to understand who are the guys that are going to hit for average, who are the guys that can steal some bases, you know, and who are the sluggers. And so when we go on the right side of the 2 squares, on high on the risk side, Those are some of the guys that can steal some bases for you, right? And in some cases, maybe hit some home runs. The left two squares with prudent and conservative, these are the guys that hit for average. Some of them hit for really high average, but only hit a lot of singles. And some of them can hit some doubles and triples with the prudent category up top. All right, now what we're doing here, how VectorVest is able to do this, we can take 9,000 stocks. We can look at two indicators, relative value, which looks at upside potential, and relative safety, which looks at consistency and predictability of financial performance. And we can then categorize stocks into these quadrants, right? So typically when you're in the speculative category, these are a lot of stocks that typically are in the news, like an Affirm has been really hot as of late. You know, they don't have any RV or RS. They don't have any proven track record of making money. In fact, they lose money. They're getting a little better at not losing as much money, you know, and they've got some strong partnerships. But you can see then that there's opportunity there. It's just how well has that stock performed for the last couple of years, for example, right? So you got to be able to pick your spots. In the aggressive quadrant, top right, here you can see we've at least got some value now. And what that does, or relative value in this case, and what that does is gives you that upward tilt to the chart, yeah? And so, you know, you're still going to have some volatility here because there's not safety, there's not proven track record, but they are high growth. And so opportunity will abound and be a little bit more consistent than the speculative category. In the prudent category, you got the best, you want your cake and eat it too. You got the best of all worlds. You got high relative value, high relative safety. So these are good, high, typically fairly high growth to really high growth stocks, but also have established track records of making money. And that's what gives you a lot less volatility typically and pretty good climbers to boot. And in the conservative category, you know, your emphasis is on safety. And that's going to give you the guys that hit for high average, Ted Williams kind of players, hitting lifetime 400, you know, which is incredible in baseball. People don't understand that. So conservative, the higher the safety, you know, capital preservation is king for some folks, and the conservative quadrant is you want the highest safety ratings you can find, right? So those are brief and terse explanations. We put some visuals to it to give you a little bit of a firmer understanding. But generally speaking, your best opportunities to grow wealth over the long term are on the left two. And if you want to spice up your portfolio a little bit, we can start picking some from the right two quadrants as well. All right, so when we take that information and then we put something like the NPI on some of these stocks, you get some mouth-watering entries. And boo, look at that thing just shoot up the page. We're not going to do a lot of instruction here, but this will be called a low cross. Something Stan Heller is going to be doing the MPI presentations for you guys from Canada. Isn't that great? I just love it that Stan's going to be doing that. And you can, if you're super aggressive, you can solely trade the RT crosses down below. And if you're a little bit more prudent to conservative, you can rely more heavily on the stop crosses up above. But you can see here, could have had a beautiful early entry, great earnings report, green lights in the color guard, and look at the stock performance. Here's Harmony Gold. And so, boy, I tell you, this MPI has been great. And it has played very well with two of the better gold stocks in the VectorVest platform. I say two of the better ones because they have the better combinations of RV and RS. And that's Harmony Gold and Gold Fields. Okay, and then you start sticking the MPI on here, and I tell you, you got the answer. You got the answer. Okay? All right, so that brings us to the final pillar, and that is manage your portfolio in minutes a day. It should not overwhelm you. You know, you shouldn't have to sit there with your head in your hands worrying about what you're doing with your portfolio every day. Simple guidelines to get started. We're going to talk a lot more in depth at the show, of course, but use a dollar-weighted system. I know when I first started talking to my friends, they said, boy, Steve, you've been really successful in the stock market. What stock should I pick and put all my money into? I was like, are you kidding me? Listen. So I had to teach them same way, we're teaching you guys. And that is, you want to spread risk out multiple ways. You want to own more than one stock. I don't care how good it is. Even if it is going to set you up for success, like an NVIDIA for the long term, you still want to own others, because it's no fun if your portfolio isn't moving higher at least every couple months or so. And so 10 to 20 stocks, dollar weight, same monetary investment in each one. That way, an NVIDIA, if you're 80% in NVIDIA and you got a couple other stocks, your chances are your portfolio is underwater over the last several weeks. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep things weighted, and you want to have a broad variety of things so that you can keep that portfolio chugging. You even want to consider industry diversification, owning a little bit of gold, some of VectorVest better gold stocks, owning some good tech, owning some other segments of the market that are hot and making sense. And then it's a matter of just staying on the right side of the market with those market timing decisions, never risking too much in any single position that you own. And we can do that. Ron Wheeler's going to be here as well and showing you how you can increase income and in a way mitigate some risk. But, you never want to risk too much in any single trade. And, great advice here, no more than 1% to 2%. So you're going to be using stop losses. And stop losses go a long way towards keeping your capital safe so that you can reinvigorate that portfolio, get that new position in there, and allow the VectorVest numbers to do their job. Okay? That way, you can start managing portfolios like this one that, every once in a while you're going to have some bumps and bruises, but for the most part, just keeps chugging along the right way, And we'll be spending a lot of time talking about that one and a few others. And we also have a brand new and simple way to trade ETFs. So people have been asking about this for a long time, and we're certainly going to be spending some time reinvigorating folks with this new ETF strategy. All right. On top of that, the Ultimate Retirement Solution, which last I checked anyway, is doing about 26% a year annualized rates of return. And this is a completely managed portfolio, everything from picking the right stocks to begin with, high relative safety companies, protecting them, making them worry-free when confirmed down signals occur, and collecting dividend income, and also option income to get that job done and get you moving at that kind of clip. And so Ron's really going to be a nice addition to the show. I know he's been the last couple of years, and it has been a nice addition. And that is, he's going to show you a couple ways to use options. One, to generate income, and that's most appropriate for certainly the retirement-minded investors, but also ways that you can supercharge returns with some of these great concepts like the NPI to ramp those profit potentials up even more. Okay, so just real quickly, we'll run through the agenda. I don't want to spend too much time here, actually. I think we get caught in the weeds if we do. The morning, guys, the morning is all about core VectorVest. It's all about setting the table in a way. It's about the 30,000-foot view and the proprietary indicators that are going to get the job done. That's a new addition, though, the triple fixed income performance and a 3-step approach. That's going to be a brand new presentation and one you don't want to miss. On the afternoon of January 5th, this is still Friday, we're going to be we're digging in. We're rolling up the sleeves now a little bit, and we're going to get into what are the right stocks for you. What are some of the best searches in the platform to find them? And that does give you that leeway to kind of mix and match a bit and put the priority on certain quadrants, right? More prudent-minded for most of you. And boy, I tell you, if you're aggressive, we got some great stuff. I mean, if you're truly aggressive and you just want to gunsling all the time, we got some stuff for you there. All right. How to build and manage a retirement portfolio, highlight of the show. Because let's face it, most of our subscribers fall into the retirement category, it seems, these days. But really, the earlier you start this, look, this isn't just for somebody who's 50, 60, 70 years old. I mean, if you start this when you're 20 or 30, I mean, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime. We're talking more than 20% annualized rates of return. It doesn't take, everybody know the rule of 72? You double your money every time you hit that 72 bar. So 20 goes into 72, what, a little over 3 times? So every 3.25 years or so, you're doubling your investment portfolio. I mean, that's tremendous. Situational investing goes a little bit more into sort of the wave pattern that the market moves in and gets real specific on tactics that work the very best at different times of that wave pattern. In other words, markets reach peaks and then they fall and hit troughs, and then they reach peaks and fall and hit troughs. So at the troughs, what's my best tactics? As we start going up, we want to switch over more from bottom fishing more into high momentum. And then as we keep climbing, if we stay really resilient on that climb, we then want to start thinking a little bit more safety. You're climbing that wall of worry. Then markets are inevitably going to tip over. Time to get defensive, protect, potentially profit if you're interested on the way down. And then it's rinse and repeat. We'll have a special cocktail reception and then a special presentation that evening. And then on Saturday, all swing trader for the morning, and even how to leverage it with Ron. So this is great. So a lot of Jerry, you got some Stan and some Ron here on this day here, where it was mostly me, Glenn, and Jim and Ray day one. And I love that. You're getting a nice swath of instruction from a lot of different folks, which will keep things moving and interesting for you. Okay. Most importantly, you're getting the right people teaching the right subjects. All right. And then in the afternoon, this is going to be great. Options Paycheck Live. Okay. Options Paycheck Live. That's going to show you getting into the nitty gritty, getting into the brokerage and absolutely placing trades start to finish. So that's terrific. And then Ray will come in and wrap things up with the path to outperforming fixed income investments. Really, it's sort of the plan leaving the show. What do I do Monday kind of thing. And so hopefully you're as intrigued as you should be at this point. This is a complete show. I mean, it is A to Z. It covers all the bases. There is nothing, no rock left unturned, and yet it's simple. The key is your ability to pick out the simple plan that's going to work best for you. And we make that abundantly clear at the show. Okay. And it's decision time. This decision is going to be easy because doing it alone takes a lot of work. Do it faster. Get this information. Abe Lincoln said, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Nothing could be better than that quote as it relates to this, because you can spend 2 days for $95 to go in person or free. You can spend 2 days for free sharpening the axe to set you up for a lifetime of potential in the future. I mean, I think Abe would have preferred that back in his quote, to not even have to go through the effort of sharpening his own axe. So listen, these prices go up. They start going up Tuesday, 10 a.m. next week. They go to 195 and it'll keep climbing. Don't be the person that pays 400. Be the person that pays 95. Okay. Or 495 rather. Be the person that pays 95. Okay. Certainly be the person that goes for free. Now, let's talk a little bit about differentiation. Is there a benefit one way or the other? There absolutely is. Some are obvious, some are not so obvious. When you go to Tampa, you get direct access to all the staff that's there. So all presenters. I think Linda Royer will also be on site. So you got some great VectorVest folk that you can interact with. On top of that, you get to mingle with the VectorVest elite. We've got people that have been coming there since I started going 23 years ago. Okay. And so you might ask, well, why do they keep coming? Well, they keep coming because one, it's reinvigorating. Two, they say, listen, I've been around a long time, but I picked up something new. You know why? Because there's always something new in the show. And listen, these people are very successful, and being able to rub elbows with them is also a lifetime of opportunity and benefit for you, because now you're talking with people who are in your position, people that are using the product and have done so successfully for many, many years. And listen, $95, that doesn't even come close to covering our expenses, actually, particularly with inflation, right? I'm sure you guys are aware that we've had some inflation lately. So anyway, these are no-brainers, okay? Basically, we want to try to do the best we can to make sure we can train as many people as we can. Why do we want to do that? We want to keep you as subscribers. So we're willing to do so at a deficit. That's bottom line. All right, so get to Tampa. That will sell out. It's sold out every time that I have been, as long as I can remember. Now, I wasn't able to make it last year, and I missed some of the COVID shenanigans. But listen, this is an event that you want to get yourself to. We'll see you there. Good luck, everyone. We'll see you there. Go to VectorVest.com/Tampa for the live and in person. Go to VectorVest.com/stream to attend for free online. This is going to be recorded, and anybody that goes in person gets access to the recordings for at least a year. Anybody that does an annual renewal or a new annual subscription gets access to the recordings for a year as well. All right. So we will see you there. Good luck. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in Tampa. Don't miss out. You'll be sorry. We'll see you there.